Hi there everyone, welcome. We're here with another bonus, 1st to the 15th of the month of August reading, and it is for the sign of Virgo. Let's jump into it and see what is at play. Dear Virgo, this is Venus going into your sign. Wow, how exciting. And, you know, perhaps fittingly, we have a new deck here that I wanted to pop open here and sort of read on with you. So let's do that. And yeah, how exciting. Venus in any sign is just really a nice touch. Yeah, Venus being all about, you know, balance, beauty, pleasure, the senses, and you know, feeling that things are sort of where they should be in their place. And what Virgo would not want that? In addition to, you know, Venus, which is about also aesthetics. So, you know, Virgo being attending to the details, and then, you know, Libra, Venus energy, even Taurus will say energy being really about sort of, again, putting the finishing touches on what may feel right. That was ultimately what I think we're all experiencing here in some way. You know, putting, you know, again, I keep hearing those last few touches on what we feel may have been out of place for quite some time. It's funny, I have a little pair of tweezers here sitting on the desk as well. That came through in a slightly different context in the Sagittarius reading. So yes, but I feel like in you know, your experience here, maybe with this transit, there is something quite exciting, grounding, and really, truly, possibly even revolutionary. So let's jump into it. This is a deck. It's called 100 Questions. It's a conversation toolkit. It's actually not a tarot deck necessarily, but what is tarot? But a medium through which we can channel, well, we can really communicate via the you know, the conversation that we may already be having on an intuitive sort of scope. So Virgo, though, I want to say this, you know, it's interesting because, well, you are ruled by Mercury. Mercury is an air planet. It naturally rules Gemini in addition to your sign. So yeah, it's actually interesting. You and Gemini both, you have the same ruler, even though you're technically earth energy, and Mercury via Gemini's an air sign. So but either way, fittingly yet again enough, it's the conversation toolkit. So, you know, there could be, well, I was meditating the energy, we'll get to that. I'm also channeling here, just a side note, sort of like oracle work, and so yeah, different ways in which we're working with the frequencies, channeling them to you. And remember that what does come through, Virgo, is, you know, not necessarily something that you don't already know, and that's why it's so key, so important to reflect on the messages that do come through and really feel it and see how it may resonate with you at this point in time. Also note that you can come back to this reading and you might find that there are messages that you resonate with in a completely new way down the line. So, you know, maybe for example, one month, you know, or in this month that you're watching this, you really grasp these concepts that come through, maybe metaphorically, maybe spiritually, emotionally, energetically. And who's to say that those things are separate, right, from one another? But then maybe another month you come along and you say, you know what, this is actually applying to me physically now. Come down the line a few months, maybe it's applying to you logically, intellectually, socially, right, for example. So there are different ways in which we ultimately live life and we experience these experiences. So just a side note to remember that, and it can also be something symbolic that comes through as well. So if, you know, even in the titles, like if something, you know, it sounds in a certain way, it might be felt in a number of ways. So again, that message is coming through here really clearly. Let's clear the energy and ground, and we'll get ready to dive into it here for you, Virgo. This is, again, the conversation toolkit. Wow, it's such an interesting concept here. When I saw this deck, I was like, oh wow, I really am curious because, you know, there are so many ways in which we are ultimately, this is a freaking big deck. There are so many ways in which we are already communicating, but sometimes it's like we don't have the words always to define what it is that we might be wanting to say. So this might be a kind of handy tool, we'll say, and we'll definitely accompany it with, if we feel guided. And of course, I always take an intuitive approach, but we'll yeah, to any reading really, but heed our intuition. But we have 3 other decks to choose from here if we do feel guided to pull upon: the Wild Unknown, the Children's Spirit Animal deck, and the also a new deck, relatively, the Gummy Bear Tarot. So now, Virgo, I almost called you Gemini. The feeling I'm getting as well here is that right off the bat, there could be, you know, something that thematically social that comes up here at this time. And Venus is an air sign, but it's also, again, it's kind of that hybrid. It's ruled by Venus, which is an earth planet and air planet, we can say. Both the earth sign of Taurus and the air sign of Libra are both ruled by Venus. So there is that sort of overlap of matters of even what is tactile, what we can experience, interact with physically, but also what we are able to collaborate with others in the space of what we're able to create ultimately as well. So this might be a time where you find that you're really stimulated. You're feeling just like, you know, more curious. I'm hearing that as well. And maybe there isn't a circumstance that comes about where you're like, you know what, I think it's a good time to do this, to go for this. Let's get brave here. I'm hearing that specifically. So let's just pull a few cards here from this deck. And for some of you, I feel like you might actually even be getting, you know, more intimate with someone here. I'm seeing that as well, if it's for matters of partnerships. Yeah, I feel like if that is the case, it's sort of like, you know, you feel maybe like the opportunity has come about, you know, why would I hold myself back? And I also want to mention this before we get into it, so much prelude, Virgo, wow, in your reading. Usually we just jump right into it, but okay, well, again, Venus putting the little finishing touches as we yeah, put the candle over there, light it, okay, so on. But you know, Virgo, I wanted to say, well, maybe we will separate, we'll read in terms of, we'll separate maybe career and matters of love, but and relationship, partnerships, maybe even finances, so on, but social life and etc. But Virgo, wow, yeah, okay, let's clear to ground. Maybe we'll actually finally address, I'm hearing the things that we've been wanting to say, wanting to do, but furthermore, okay, you know, we note that there might be a focus on even, you know, energy from the past that may come up at this time, and energy that moves into the long future, long distance future. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I'm going to shuffle these cards. So give me a quick second, and we'll do that. Actually, let's just shuffle right on camera. Yeah, some of you, I feel like, you know, you're really maybe, you know, in a position where, you know, you don't want to consider and contemplate anymore, which is actually really interesting for the sign of Virgo, because Virgo is a very intellectual sign, relatively, very much in the mind, a lot of energy held in the mind with a Virgo archetype. So, you know, possibly there is this moment where you say, you know what, I'm hearing again, I want to take action. So let's get into it. The first card, ooh, nerves. I'm not going to lie, Virgo, I'm not going to lie. There are nerves here. What do you regret about a past relationship? Now, what I'm getting with this card right up and out is that, you know, there is maybe something here that, you know, you might have had an experience or two with, maybe several. There possibly have been moments in time in the past where you really, as you felt it, lost an opportunity. And I see you getting to a point here where you are really looking in the past in a way that it might be helpful for you here today, where you say, I saw where that your behavior took me. I saw where those actions led me to, and I'm ready to make a decision here, maybe of change in terms of how I approach the storyline. Let's pull a few more cards here with these questions. Have you ever had a religious experience? Now, this is the first card on the face of this stack. Here, have you ever had a religious experience? And it's interesting because for a number of you, I see that maybe there's even a certain topic or theme in your environment that you never really explored. Maybe, for example, it's something your friends are into, curious about. I see you kind of like wanting to consider things that you in the past have not. And we're gonna, again, overlay these cards with the Wild Unknown Children and Gummy Bear Tarot. Gummy Bear Tarot is kind of similar to Rider-Waite, just FYI, for those of you who are familiar with Rider-Waite, and if this is your first time viewing, then that deck is probably most similar. We see the page, the knight, versus, let's say, the daughter and the son of the court cards. We have another card here. What aspects of yourself do you worry might put off a prospective partner? I feel like you've been doing a lot of digging here, Virgo, when it comes to, you know, really thinking about the decisions that you've taken on in the past and really sort of addressing it, really sort of getting down to it, thinking, why did I put that off? I'm hearing that as well. You know, if I felt this way, okay, why did I act that way? I feel like you will be unraveling a certain part of your consciousness. I'm hearing that as well. Let's get another, we just split the decks. Let's get card from the separate deck here. I'm hearing this is really exciting. These are things that are really exciting here. I feel maybe even there are things on the back burner that you've been really wanting to also, I'm hearing, get off your chest. Maybe for a number of these are things you've been considering, you just didn't know quite maybe how to finally talk about this, to come out and talk about this. Now, what do you imagine people say when they gossip about you? Okay, I'm actually saying that this is something that you're curious about. Like, I'm hearing, what do people think about me? And this could also translate as you focusing more on possibly your image, for example, wanting to focus on, again, the aesthetic of how it is that you present. In what ways are you difficult to have a relationship with? It's interesting. I'm hearing that this is related to something actually exciting. So these energies that we're moving into on the right side, I'm feeling are actually energizing questions for you, and maybe things that you've put off. It's like, I don't want to think about that. I'm going to wait until I think about that. I see you getting daring here, Virgo. What have you learned from 2 people you've gone out with? Wow, interesting. Okay, so looking back on the past possibly again, but in a way that serves you here now. What kind of character traits are you drawn to in people that, although compelling, can make for difficulties in relationships? Okay. Okay, and what do you most enjoy about being single? What do you most enjoy about being in a couple? Wow, I feel that you're getting really excited about something here, Virgo. I want to pull on the Gummy Bear Tarot now. I just cannot wait. I'm so interested to see how these cards overlay. Yes, okay, let's jump into it. 8 of Cups on the what do you imagine people say when they gossip about you? Okay, I feel like you're at a point, Virgo, where for some, you've experienced a lot here, and you're kind of at that level where you're like, okay, I kind of see what this has led to, and I feel like possibly for some of you feel like you've even matured in a certain area of life. You're ready to move into a really, again, even dynamic space here. 7 of Wands upright, sitting over. In what ways are you difficult to have a relationship with? Okay, now let's move into the next. I'm hearing bravery. I see you getting brave again, Virgo. Maybe these are, there are things that you've always wondered, I'm hearing as well, but you never asked. I'm hearing that as well. Okay, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, sitting on top of what have you learned from 2 people you've gone out with? Yeah, this is funny. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This is definitely, possibly a moment where, you're thinking, well, I don't see this as a sulky reading at all or an energy space at all. I see it as actually you saying, hey, what did I dream of doing for years? It's sort of like, maybe for some of you, you're even like retiring here, and it's like, finally, what is it that I never had time to do that I now want to do? Maybe you're even, planning vacation, for example. But for some of you, if it is related to partnerships and relationships, and we will break down these energies in just a moment once we've pulled on top of these questions. We'll break it down in terms of, partnerships, relationships, and so on. But let's clear the energy around. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, this is possibly you looking back on a relationship or something that you were really hoping to get off the ground with someone, or to create with someone that you never had maybe the opportunity to. This might actually even be something you come back to that you started but you never finished. I'm seeing that as well. You never quite finished the loose ends on that. I'm hearing a letter that you wrote them. I'm hearing that as well. Okay, let's actually pull one more card on the Ace of Pentacles. Several actually. 7 of Swords upright, the Magician upright, Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles reverse. For a number of you, I actually feel like there's something you're really talented at, really skilled at, but you know that possibly, but you didn't like act on it. Now, this card here sitting on the face of this stack with the questions deck is I just was drawn to one word, and it's smell. And on this card, the question is describe a memory of a taste or smell and what it evokes for you. So possibly there's something that's interesting. That's a card that it's not really a question. It's more kind of like a stimulating, comment here. Provoking one to sort of contemplate here, possibly for themselves. There's something that maybe you have a talent with. Again, I'm hearing that, and it's a matter of maybe just kind of creating something with that talent that you can actually feel, you can sense, you can taste, you can touch. I feel possibly for a number of you that you've also taken a really private approach to this point when it comes to some area of life, and I feel like you're now ready to venture off into more daring territory here with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse, sitting on top of the question of what have you learned from people you've gone out with. Okay, so let's clear the energy ground. We'll move into the next here. We have Justice that laid right over the what do you most enjoy about being single? Of all cards, Justice. Literally ruling constitutionalized bonds. Wow, okay. What do you most enjoy about being in a couple? And this is pretty much the Venus planetary influence we see as a major arcana, justice being the card associated with Libra, and we're talking here about Venus, ultimately that Libra energy, you know, in your sign. So this is a big question for you, Virgo. This is going to be a period where you really, again, you're like, I don't want to put this off anymore. What do I want to do with this? I'm here in that area of my life. Let's pull on that. What kind of character traits are you drawn to in people that, although compelling, can make for difficulties in relationships? Ace of Swords upright. Somebody wants an answer, Virgo. Like, it's like, whatever the answer is, we want an answer. Somebody maybe even is curious to know that about you. But okay, let's continue. Page of Swords in reverse. On the what aspects of yourself do you worry might put off a prospective partner? Aha, interesting. Okay, so again, the Page of Swords. Yeah, there's something I feel you are curious about, or someone is also curious about when it comes to your experiences. I'm hearing that as well. There's something that maybe you've even created and you're wondering, you know, what are they going to think about it if I were to, maybe you're imagining, like, even maybe revealing something here. And but for a number of you, this is something you've actually developed. It could actually even be a product, and maybe this is, you know, especially for those of you who have a Virgo midheaven, or even in the sixth, something in the sixth house, even, how do we say, Virgo midheaven or Saturn in the sixth, for example. Saturn and Virgo as well. But anyways, okay, let's go back to it. Even Saturn conjunct Mercury, I'll say that, yeah, as well. But Knight of Wands, King of Wands in reverse on the have you ever had a religious experience? Okay, I really see you wondering, you know, what has held me back from having this experience that I've been maybe curious about, or that I feel I have a talent in, you know, and what is it that I haven't really sort of addressed head on when it comes to putting these feelings into motion? I'm hearing for a number of you expressing what I feel to that person I feel that way about, or even, you know, communicating to my community what it is that I feel are my talents and my skills, my gifts. Maybe this is, you know, something you want to get public with, and again, maybe it's something that you've been private with. Let's get into that first card here. The Emperor. Wow, Mars energy sitting on top of what do you regret about a past relationship? So I feel like there's something that, you know, you're coming down to, you don't want to put it off anymore. Okay, and it ultimately is because it is an opportunity that is exciting, and I feel like you know that. Let's get the cards out. We're gonna put these guys back, and interesting. I can't wait to watch this reading over and over, and sort of you know, sort of contemplate, you know, what might be when it comes to these particular curiosities that maybe again others have, or that you may have. But let's clear the energy and ground. And okay, Virgo, I see you getting really, really vulnerable here with someone in a really exciting way. I feel like they're not expecting this. I feel like you may not also be expecting this. Knight of Pentacles in reverse popping out. Let's pull for each area of life. Okay, Virgo, so matters of partnerships, let's see here, especially applying to those who have a Venus in Virgo. The Empress, oh my goodness, with the Three of Cups. Some of you are really, there's someone you've got in mind here. If you're watching for matters of partnerships, relationships, in relation to the archetype of Virgo, especially if you have, for example, a Venus in Virgo, or if you know somebody who has a Venus, well, however it is, the Queen of Wands, wow, okay, Ten of Wands. Some of you, you know, how do we say this? You know how you feel about someone. That's what I'm seeing. Again, if this is for matters of partnerships, like when we say partnerships, you know, not just the physical side of a partnership, but the concept of the partnership is what I'm hearing here coming through. And we have actually the insignia of Venus sitting on this Gummy Bear Tarot card, on the Empress card, on the heart. For a number of you, yeah, let's actually pull a few cards here from the Children's Spirit Animal on top of that, and then we'll pull from the Wild Unknown, and we might even get an extra question there on that slew of cards. The Monkey in reverse, try something new in reverse. Yeah, some of you, if this is a matter of partnership, I feel like you are really, this is someone you know. That's just a feeling I'm getting. Take it as you will. Beaver, do your chores. There's something you know I'm hearing who means what to you. I'm hearing that, like, in the sense of saying, for a number of you, I strongly feel that for Virgos here, you kind of have an idea, a clue as to what attracts you. I'm hearing that as well. You've got your eye on somebody here. I'm hearing that with the Empress. I feel like there is something that is compatible to you. You know that, you feel it. Definitely very much attractive with the Empress and the Queen of Wands. Let's pull on that with the, let's actually pull with the questions deck on that Empress and Queen of Wands. I'm hearing, I'm ready. I'm hearing, yeah, I'm hearing, I hear it. not sure what those lines are. Okay. What work of literature or art has directly influenced your life? Okay, give me a second here. We'll pull as well on the wild unknown on that here. The Four of Pentacles wants to remain there, and we'll pull another few cards. The Emperor. Wow, the Empress. Okay. And that was your first card, the Emperor. The Ten of Wands in reverse. The Six of Swords in reverse, the Hangman upright, and the Six of Cups. We've got as well the Hierophant, Mother of Pentacles. You guys know who this is to you. You know what you want. I'm hearing that as well. For a number of you, it's a matter of understanding why it is that you know you want. How do we say? It's a matter of the process, okay, that leads to this. Let's pull a few more Gummy Bear Tarot leading into the Empress, because I am a little curious as to what it is that is getting you to kind of, you know, what is coaxing you? What is the plan here? I'm hearing that as well. What is the plan? The Six of Swords. Some of you may feel, wow, the Six of Cups again. You have, okay, the Wheel of Fortune. This is something maybe you feel like I cannot force the process. And also for some of you, you might feel like, well, there are some things, it might be bureaucracy. For some of you, it might be you feeling like you need approval from someone before you sort of come out with this, because I see that the attraction is definitely here. You guys feel a certain way here for someone. I'm seeing that with the Queen of Wands and the Empress. And if it's a partnership in terms of, you know, just even family, or even, you know, when it comes even, let's say, to your creative collaborations, I see you like not wanting to necessarily rush this. I feel like you have the feeling, you know who, I'm hearing they are to you, but it's a matter for a number of you possibly even of healing something here prior to being able to fully invest in the space is what I'm getting. But you got the Hierophant. Oh my gosh, you have, yeah, the Hanged Man. You've got a lot of fire energy here. You've got as well, you know, the Pentacles, Mother of Pentacles came through for you as well. There is a lot of history here. I'm seeing that as well. I feel you're not so nervous as to, you know, how do we say, if you were to be asked, what, Virgo, if you pursue this space, like, what's the potential? I feel like you would cut that question off in its tracks. Like, there is definitely potential here. Emperor, the Hierophant, wow, Mother of Pentacles. I also get the feeling, Six of Cups, you feel like it's kind of like meant to be. I just noticed you pulled both Six of Swords and both Six of Cups. Literally, you guys, check it out. Six of Cups in the Wild Unknown with the Six of Swords. In the Gummy Bear Tarot, we got the Six of Swords with the Six of Cups. This is something that means a lot to you. I'm say that as well, Virgo. You have a lot of love for someone here. Yeah, and for a number of you, it may actually, okay, be, you know, something that you've actually already created with someone, or that you feel you could create with someone. But there's definitely a lot that goes into it. And maybe it's just, hey, the pure fact that you also respect this situation here that you have going on with this person, possibly, to such a degree and level that you don't want to rush it. I'm seeing that with the Hierophant, or that you're really planning, you're putting a lot into the preparation space and a lot into the planning. So let's get some more cards here. I'm here. This is important. The High Priestess, and the Two of Pentacles. Some of you dealing with a really heavenly relationship space with someone, as you feel. And that can also be, again, I'm hearing family. It can be a space that you feel is just like, wow, it's too good to be true almost. Like, you feel like it's just divine. It's like, this is really something I am grateful for. I'm hearing that as well. I have so much gratitude for, I'm hearing her, them, this space, you know, but there is maybe, and this could be you with you, maybe this individual, you know, there was obviously possibly for a number of you a relationship here that you're already in, or this is something that, you know, you're thinking, you're sort of, you know, meditating on how to advance, how to take it to the next level. So this is quite exciting. I feel like there is a lot of love here. I'm hearing that when it comes to also what you feel you create in this space, what you create with this person. I'm hearing the letter H-A here with the Empress and the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Some of you are ready, really wanting to meet up with someone. Let's get a card on that. Eight of Swords in reverse. I feel like there is a path, though. There are very particular, yeah, some of you may be planning something. Okay, some of you may be reaching out. Well, the Magician is upright. The Eight of Swords in reverse. The Queen of Swords is upside down. Just flipped her upside down. Right side up, actually. And you've got a plan here, Virgo. There's no question. I feel like some of you are dealing with yes, and yes. All right. Ace of Cups in reverse. The Nine of Swords upright. You're wanting to like figure out how to do this like in the best way possible. I feel that when it comes down to it, the feeling is definitely there. It is something that maybe you were a little bit like feeling nervous about. It's like the details that go into it. But again, I feel, and this is a general reading, but always take it as well. I am getting the sensation that there's no question of love here with the Magician and the Empress. And yeah, so okay, the Six of Cups, like, you'll probably know what this is. You probably are in a relationship already to the point with this person that you know that there's something going on here. I'm hearing the letter S, A, Sam, Empress. There is a lot maybe that you've had enough opportunities to be able to understand if this is something for you. Not sure whether that's only for everyone, but take it as you will again. But with the High Priestess showing up, wow, yeah, Ace of Pentacles popped out. I see someone really feeling there's a lot of potential, but with the High Priestess popping out, this reminds us that there is also a sense of, you know, the feeling of we're meant to be, not because, you know, we need to also be anything in particular. And that might be something that is a little bit puts pressure because, wow, feeling expansion in the crown chakra, you really feel a strong connection, but it's almost kind of like, it's kind of like something of a new experience around that as well. Like maybe you're not used to this, maybe even feeling you have when you are interacting with this person, the Star and the High Priestess. Wow. When did the Star come out? Oh my. Okay. Yeah. The Star is sitting on the High Priestess. So yeah, it's not about understanding maybe, but then at the same time, it's like, how do we say this? I have this like a magical seed, but no one's ever planted a seed like this. I don't know what kind of soil it needs. I don't know how much rain, you know, sunshine, so on. It's like, what's the ratios? And that could be a metaphor. You're making this what it means to you. I'm hearing that as well. You're making this, let's clear it. Yeah, but then there is also a moment where you realize I can't overthink it. The Ace of Wands upright coming through. I don't want to overthink it. It's maybe for a number, this is even an idea you have. It's like, I don't want to spoil the magic. Let's clear it. I don't want to, yeah. It's like trying to figure out the balance of practicality, maybe, you know, the sensory side of how you present something, and then also, you know, the question of mystery, you know? I see you not wanting to, like, I'm just hearing, like, get too cute with them. Maybe somebody's also shy. Let's pull on that Four of Wands. Oh, Virgo. I feel like you're in love with someone. There's something that, yeah, Six of Cups again popping out. Yeah, no, that is a double-edged sword though, because maybe at times you're trying to not fall in love. It's like too fast. It's like, you know, you're wondering at least what's the balance point. Now, for some of you, I feel like you do know someone at least who is on your mind. The question is how you are to reconnect with them. I'm hearing that. There's a lot of pressure if that is the case. It's really like a lot of factors here possibly. Some of you may not even know if they're single. I'm hearing that with the Hangman and the King of Cups. Like, there's definitely an intimidating side to this. For some of you, maybe you're friends with this person. You're not sure what they're really looking for in their life. Something's real complicated here. I'm hearing that in some ways with the Hangman and the Six of Cups, the Death card and the King of Cups. For some of you, there are so many factors in the environment. Let's clear it. It's almost like some of you grew up with this person. I'm seeing that with the Six of Cups. Like, it's almost overwhelming. It's like, as good as it is, it feels kind of daunting. I'm hearing that as well here, but from another vantage point possibly than if you were already in this relationship. Either way, I feel like there is something very clear to you. And, you know, you would know, how do we say, there's someone that sticks out in your mind, okay? Some of you maybe have a crush on someone here with the Hangman and the Six of Cups. This, again, is maybe something that never really developed. Yeah, this is something that goes way back. Like, you were high school, you knew them in high school, I'm hearing that. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. King of Cups upright, Death upright, the Moon at the base of the King of Cups. Somebody is not sure how to handle this situation. Maybe it's something of like a particular type of situation. Like, how do you go from like being like friends to like, you know, more than friends? I'm hearing that with the Moon and the King of Cups for some. If this is someone that you've known and you feel like you never really took it to the next level, there's something of like a, how do we say, it's not just like, oh, I'm hitting on you in the parlor. I'm hearing in the parlor, the bar. Somebody's in a barbershop, I'm hearing as well. It's more like, this is something different. Like, maybe your parents know each other. Everyone kind of already knows one another. It's like, how do I make, yeah, okay. So let's clear it. Leo, I think I'm hearing Leo. Virgo, at the end of the day, it comes down to how you assert your story, how you say what you feel, I'm hearing that as well, and how you see it developing. Interesting. So it's about you. It's not really about necessarily the factors, which is interesting. I'm here, which is complicated. Some of you might decide to just take a daring moment on here with someone and say, hey, you know what, I'm shy to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Let's pull a Celtic cross here for matters of love, matters of the heart, relationships, partnerships. Let's see here. I do feel nerves though, Virgo, here a little bit. And some of you could be meeting up with someone we haven't met in a long time. And Whew, okay, now this cycle began at the end of July, about the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. We stepped into Venus in Virgo. It leads until about, I'm hearing, lands on the lily pad date of, yeah, there's something you're excited about, but nervous about. I keep hearing that, but in August, it's about the 17th of August. Let's get into a deep past. Two of Swords in reverse, yeah. So for some of you, you know someone here. I keep hearing that. You realize that either you want to find closure in this space in some way. There's something you want to maybe even clear the air with. There's something that you want to communicate. Maybe you never had the chance to, and it's like, I know that. I feel like it's coming, though. You're in that Page of Pentacles. For some of you, this could actually be a birth. Yeah, so again, partnerships can be, you know, in a general way. But the Star in reverse coming through Page of Pentacles, okay. Yeah, some of you feeling, I'm not going to lie, someone maybe feels like they're worried about losing the opportunity. The Hierophant in reverse, wow. With the Lovers in reverse in the environment, somebody wants to come out and like introduce themselves. They want to say in any way, hey, this is what I'm interested in. It's like, hey, if I have you on my mind, I want you to know that. Okay, King of Wands upright in the near future. I feel like you will be moving into that space. Okay, physically, actively, in the space of really taking action on what you're feeling. If you've been hesitating with something, Virgo, in other words, I feel like you're not gonna let that get the best of you. King of Wands coming through upright. This can also be a really creative energy that starts to pick up speed here. Now, the Page of Cups is in reverse, hopes and fears. You've got the Queen of Swords in reverse in your advice, and you lead out. For some of you, this might be something a little bit unconventional. Five of Cups upright, Hierophant reverse. Aw, some of you, I feel, let's clear. Yeah, the Four of Cups in reverse. This is something either you want to really take your time with, okay? You've been really wanting to be quite sensitive with the way that you step back into the space in some way, if it is you reconnecting with someone. But for some of you, I feel like there is an aspect here that is kind of possibly nostalgic to some degree, but the Hierophant reverse, Five of Cups upright, Four of Cups in reverse. Some of you possibly also feel like there's so much potential, but that you haven't had the opportunity. And it's almost like it's kind of, how do we say, something, you're really excited about something, but it's just, and maybe you realize, well, it's not about forcing the storyline, but I'm hearing, I miss them. Page of Cups in reverse. Oh, and the hopes and fears. For whenever, though, you're dreaming of an opportunity here. It's like, I can't wait until I see them next time, for example. Okay, and it's like, I almost see even the Five of Cups as sort of boredom. Like, I've been just waiting for you to walk in. Like, the minute they walk in, it's like the opportunity strikes. It can be a metaphor. It's like, yay, now I'm finally ready. So let's see here. Let's pull into the matters of career now and finances, for example, Virgo. Let's see here, matters of your creative projects, your hobbies, and there could be overlap, of course. You know, what are finances? It's all energy at the end of the day. So I see you're taking a risk here with something, Virgo. Let's pull the children's spirit animal and see here. The deep past, Ladybug. Notice the little things. Buffalo upright, be thankful you have in the recent past. I feel like you just finished a big cycle with something here. A really long, big cycle, Virgo. I feel like you made a huge sense of progress in some area of life, and some of you definitely possibly have retired is what I'm getting. Coyote in reverse in the environment. Let's clear the energy and ground. Fox in reverse leading you out. And the current state is the Lizard card, Dream in reverse. Yes, the Hummingbird, Cheer Up upright. I feel like you're getting ready to change some aspect of your lifestyle in a big way. Or some of you possibly also are thinking of some kind of investment here that you feel it's going to improve your lifestyle, but possibly the way you carry out your work, or the way you work. Some of you possibly even want to combine. Okay, you're really thinking, how does my personal life sort of, mix and meld with my work life? And maybe you, for example, want to even have a collaboration between there we go, the Five of Cups, matters of the heart, matters of the home, and matters of profession and finances. Possibly for some of you, you want to start a family-based business with the Four of Wands. I'm also seeing that. Some of you want to launch a business from the home. I'm hearing that with the Four of Wands. Either way, I see something massively transforming when it comes to your career, when it comes to your home life, when it comes to your partnerships, your social interactions, and matters of the heart. I just got started that Empress again. Maybe for a number of you, what you have going on in your personal life, your home life, I'm hearing that as well. Partnerships, or even with a significant somebody who is on your mind, that's affecting the way that you're working, and so just maybe that's something you even just kind of realize here. Okay, let's move into the Gummy Bear Tarot cards. Upon these, the deep past. You've got the Three of Swords in reverse. Something was really, yeah, you moved through something big here, Virgo. Like, I see you making huge headway here. It was really challenging. I'm here on that, like, whatever it was, but it was throwing you off and you said, you know what, this is what I got to do. So you maybe made some sacrifices. There were things that you felt maybe were inevitable. We're going to get to that point where we have to make those changes eventually anyway. So, okay, now let's pull in the environment. Yeah, you're really getting really clear here with some of the Hierophant upright, like your values, your time, your energy. What is helpful to me? What is a priority? And what do I feel I can actually kind of put off a little bit? Maybe you're re-strategizing things, maybe actually even organizing. Maybe for now, this is you defining where you want to put your money. For example, when it comes to investment, you know, maybe you want to save in some areas that again, and maybe you feel like other things are better, you know, spending more on a little bit here. The near future, the Seven of Cups in reverse. Wow. The Hermit's in reverse in your advice. I feel like you're redefining your project of so-called life. Wow. The Moon upright. I feel like you've got more opportunities here. Even the High Priestess in reverse, popping out on the Seven of Cups in reverse. Yeah, there's something here. Maybe you were really, you wanted to get your hands dirty with, even you wanted to kind of, you know, finally sort of even, you know, test. I'm seeing that with the High Priestess in reverse and the Seven of Cups in reverse, but you were waiting for maybe the right opportunity. It's something I feel that transforms the way you see yourself, the way you see yourself in maybe a global context. I'm hearing that, especially if your work is global. I feel like there's something that comes in when it comes down to how you carry your work, and it can be some sort of technology even that you end up adopting or integrating in your work, and that makes everything feel different to you about maybe what actually you even do. For example, it could just be something inspiring, but the Moon coming through on the coup where you can do it and the hopes interferes. I feel like you've known what this is, and possibly it's a dream from childhood. I'm hearing that. You lead out with the Ten of Swords upright. Wow, yeah, this is definitely, though, it does maybe have a nostalgic side to it. Some of you, there's something with your social environment. You might be moving out of one space, moving into another. At the end of the day, it's something that you know, tell yourself, I got to do this. Like, this is what will lead me to my long-term vision. Like, I want to do this in a macro space. I feel this is going to help me. Let's pull a card here from the questions deck. What's the most unusual job you have a secret hankering to try out? Did we not just talk about that right there? Let's get another card. What supposedly worthy cause are you secretly not that bothered about? Oh, so, okay, let's pull one more. These are very interesting here, yeah? What makes a person a good traveling companion? Some of you, you know, let's clear the energy around. I actually want to pull some Gummy Bear Tarots on top of those questions. What makes a person a good traveling companion? Some of you, I feel, realize that you have a talent here. Ooh, the card upside down. Nine of Wands in reverse. I feel this comes down to your potential. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles in reverse on the what supposedly worthy cause are you secretly not that worried about? Okay, not that bothered about, worried about. Okay. Some of you maybe, you know, I see you you're really reviewing something here. It's like, okay, is this really what I'm gonna be doing? Like, you're stopping a cycle here. I see you stopping a train. You're like, from moving any further. I was like, okay, wait a second. Is this actually also accentuating my greatest features, my talents? Maybe it's a product that you're launching and it's like, you're planning the marketing of it. It's like, is that really the point? Do we want that on the front page, you know? Is that really the thing we want to accent? The Judgment card upright on the what's the most unusual job you have a secret hankering to try out. So there is something that, you know, I see you kind of wanting to even make it a public thing at a certain point. Like, I don't want it to be something that I just know privately for myself. I don't want it to be a theory thing. I really feel this way. I'm hearing that and I feel strongly this way. I see you though exchanging something. Like, again, that really is not what I'm feeling called to, you know, move in the direction of, and I'm going to release it, and I want to really start energizing this direction here more. I see it comes down though as well to your actual investment. I'm also seeing you contemplating, what is it that I am just naturally drawn to? What makes me feel excited and energized? And you know, the way sometimes I'll know that are the smallest things challenging for me to get done? And then in other situations, in other industries, I feel like, you know, getting this done is just so simple, but it's technically something that is more complicated. That's how you'll know where your heart is really at. I'm hearing that. Now, we have the Nine of Cups on the floor. Yeah, yet again, this is something maybe even, it's quite dynamic. The Four of Cups in reverse. This is something also collaborative. Five of Wands upright, the world and the theme. I feel like you've felt this change coming for quite some time now. So let's clear the energy and ground. And let's pull actually on matters of resources, your creative assets, your creative resources. Matters will say so-called to finances, but what are finances really? Let's pull on what it is maybe you're saving, what it is that you've accumulated, what is it that you've created maybe even, and what's the shift maybe in that space here as we move into Venus and Virgo again in your sign. And Venus again rules both partnerships, love, matters of the heart, but also material resources and finances, especially those that attribute to your creative talents, your creative projects. Right off the bat, I'm hearing family. So again, maybe you realize that during this time more than others, there is this question of how does my, again, personal life interact with my professional or my creative endeavors. Let's pull questions here when it comes to your creative assets. We have here, would you consider having psychotherapy, and what would you hope to discover from it? Interesting. Now, this can be something metaphorical as well. What is, you know, take it as you will. You know, what does psychotherapy mean for you? I'm going to question that as well. So take it as you will, but let's pull a few more here. Okay. I'm hearing we're ready. These cards are coming through upside down. I feel like, okay, let's clear it. There's something you're making a breakthrough here with. Have you ever traveled on your own? Some of you, it's interesting. We're already talking about, when I think of this question, I think of sort of, you know, people generally will, depends if you're a Sagittarius, sun sign, moon sign, stellium, it's like, frick, I'll travel anywhere, I don't even need a ticket. So that's an adventure in and of itself, getting there. Okay, you know, but sometimes they think, you know, sometimes, you know, wow, well, traveling is freaky, okay, and especially traveling on your own is freaky, you know. When I traveled to Japan, I was on my own, and I went from Hawaii. I actually initially went with my family, and my heart was still there. I wanted to go back so badly, and didn't really have a reason why. Well, Sag moon, okay, Jupiter in the 9th, okay, Leo. Yeah, got a lot. Yeah, my moon is also in my first house. Got a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, okay, but I felt there was something pulling me to, you know, to travel again back. So we actually fully went back to, you know, home, and then I went to Hawaii first, and then I felt, you know, I was getting closer and closer, and it's like, okay, you know what, I think I'm gonna go back to Japan. I went on my own to Japan, went to Korea, you know, traveled about and was, you know, it was an experience, but at times, you know, it could get freaky, but you know, but it was definitely something I felt guided as well to experience. But, you know, some definitely, you know, people that really, when they hear of, you know, not like you're all alone in Japan, like, you don't even speak like what, and so, you know, but that's what is coming to mind right here when I see this question. You know, there is something that you're confronting. Maybe there is a question of, okay, unraveling your conscious, you know, or subconscious fears. I'm hearing when it comes to what it is that you focus on as a resource here for you in relation to your work life, in relation to what it is that you, I'm hearing project. Interesting. So some of you maybe, again, I keep hearing you have some talents. Maybe you have something here that you're really, really good at and you know it, but you've been purposely sort of like concealing it potentially. That's what I'm getting here, possibly for a number of you. Okay, but let's continue with the questions. Let's clear it around. Are there mistakes you repeat from one holiday to the next? I actually almost said past life with the holiday. We would say holiday, you know. You know, what is really life? Are we just on holiday here? Okay, can't wait to go home, kind of vibe. Okay, at times. If you were in a city and had to choose between a good meal, wow, a lot about travel, interesting. If you were in a city and had to choose between a good meal and a bad hotel, or a bad meal and a good hotel, which would you prefer? Such a Virgo question, I feel. Just the nitty gritty. If you had to live somewhere else, we're talking all about travel. So here we are. Okay, Virgo, I'm also getting this feeling that, you know, maybe there is something that you're wanting to venture out to discover, and maybe this comes down to your resources. For example, maybe you feel like there are just going to be, you know, wonderful resources for you, but just in another context, and that can be a metaphor, maybe traveling into a different industry, you know, sort of venturing out into another sort of, you know, actual maybe physical, I'm hearing space, land. Maybe there's something you feel is kind of like, there's something out there for me, I feel it. I'm hearing that song, somewhere out there. Okay, if you had to live, but let's continue with this question. If you had to live somewhere somewhere else, where would it be? So I feel for a number of you, you're questioning, you know, am I operating a little too much in my safety zone? If so, why? And how is that affecting or impacting what I see as my resources? Now, for a number of you, I'm almost seeing someone who like travels, and when they travel, they're in a different space. They almost like start to see, you know, their abilities in a different way. Interesting. Or they start to actually see certain, let's clear it. They see things in I'm hearing certain conversations in a different way. Let's clear it. It could be with your higher self, but they start to see different, I'm hearing companies. Okay, so maybe you're being encouraged to start to kind of work outside of what you've known, what has been comfortable. Maybe there's something you want to even experiment with. I do see it though as even something where maybe you feel encouraged or you're feeling guided to open up a conversation in different areas of life. I'm hearing that as well. Interesting. When it comes to your resources, so maybe you have resources that you're kind of glazing over, like, wait, I never really accented that. That's actually a resource, so take it as you will. Let's clear it. We're going to pull cards on these questions. Would you consider having psychotherapy, and what would you hope to discover from it? The Fool in reverse. Wow, we're definitely talking about what is holding us back from observing. I'm hearing it in this way. You know, what we feel. Okay, so let's move into the second. Five of Swords in reverse on have you ever traveled on your own? I feel like some of you, this is, again, this could be something metaphorical, like there is something that you've experienced or that you've even already done. Maybe this is something that you've already done. And maybe you have traveled on your own, but you want to, for example, write about it, or you want to do something with the content that, you know, you derived from that experience. Maybe you, for example, have pictures and you want to start a vlog or a blog. This is an example coming through. There's something here with the Five of Swords in reverse that I feel this is almost a rhetorical question, or it's something that's meant to just stimulate the question of what you already know, but that you haven't taken quite action on yet. Ace of Swords upright. Are there any mistakes you repeat from one holiday to the next? It's interesting. There's something that you want to maybe even, I'm hearing represent. I'm seeing that with the Ace of Swords upright, and I'm hearing this might come down to matters of legality, even with the Ace of Swords upright. The Death card comes through upright, sitting on the, if you were in a city and had to choose between a good meal and a bad hotel, or a bad meal and a good hotel, which would you prefer? It's funny because the Death card is Scorpio's card, rules the 8th house, it rules what is taboo, it rules, you know, well, Mars, Pluto, it is quite, at times it can be seen as a brave, daring energy, especially when there's something they're really passionate about, so that might be a force there. There's a question of possibly of how do we say, Virgo, I feel you know what you want, but it's a how do we say, it's a matter, how do we act on what we really feel? I'm just here on that. I'm coming through with the Death card. Okay, if you had to live somewhere else, where would it be? Is that the Temperance card? That is the Temperance card. The Wheel of Fortune, by the way, on the Death card. I feel this is also a matter of faith, having faith in, okay, you know, experiences maybe that also don't necessarily make sense. I'm hearing that with the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune, where you're like, you know what, you know what, I just don't, for some reason, you know what, let me do the hostel life. I'm hearing that, like, this is, you know, how do we say, it's those moments where everyone's like, oh, I would much rather stay here and, like, you know, experiment with that. But I see you kind of being like, you know, for some reason, I'm really drawn to this kind of lifestyle, or this kind of space, or this kind of area, or, you know, maybe I want to live in this kind of neighborhood, like, whatever it is. Again, you guys, when I was traveling on my own, I literally was, like, in a hostel, was spending, like, you know, practically nothing, and I was just sort of living that vagabond life. And maybe this is something that for a number of you, you've considered, you've contemplated, you've really asked yourself, well, is this going to be, let's clear, you've really wondered, is this what I want? And so I think with the Death card, it also does come down to what is real for you. You know, Scorpio is really about the depth, the inner, what is also, as you might feel it, yeah, what speaks to your soul. I'm hearing that. Okay, so the Temperance card landing on the, if you had to live somewhere else, where would it be? It's funny because this is the card surge with Sagittarius. We're talking about the excursion, I'm hearing for a number of you, of a lifetime. There's something maybe that you realize that, you know, you really dream of. And I feel that the way you know what this is are the resources, are there certain resources somewhere that you know, it's like, well, I know that place has the resources that I need to create what it is I want to create. Let's clear it. And let's pull here on the Celtic cross for this. So it would always take it as you will. So many factors that may play. Deep past. I feel like some of you know something, but you've been nervous about actually doing it. 7 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, on the deep past. Recent past. 4 of Pentacles upright. Maybe for some it comes down to, maybe it's something kind of a little bit complicated, kind of controversial with the Four of Pentacles. Like, you'd have to move stuff around here. It's like, but I really feel like in some way, Virgo, at the end of the day, it's something that suits you more, maybe personally. It may even improve your social life, your personal life. Nine of Wands upright in the current state, Nine of Pentacles in reverse leading into that. Wow, in the energetic pathway, the advice is the Hierophant upright. So I feel like it comes down to what it is that you decide to prioritize, to value. What it's like, I'm seeing you selling stuff even here, Virgo, and maybe thinking, where do I want to actually reinvest? This, for a number of you though, is something that you already have, and it's a matter of organization. What do I do with this stuff? What do I want to sort of, you know, project out there as the priority? And if it is a product you've created, for example, or you have a collection of products, I feel like you're really thinking, you know, what goes where, what's a priority? If it is even something you're marketing, it's like, what do I want to market first about this? Or what is it that I would like to put out there on the front page, for example? The Hierophant upright, I see you really calculating something here as well. The High Priestess in reverse. Yeah, but for some, I feel there are factors that really matter to you, or really important, but that you're not maybe getting where you're already at. And so that might be something you're considering, like, let me think about other areas of life and see, you know, where that might be able to, where that might be able to be accented on. Interesting. I even see you traveling and moving something around. I'm almost even seeing you taking pictures of something. You're like, all right, I need to go there and take a better picture of that. That could be a metaphor, but you know what I'm saying? Okay. King of Wands upright, leading into the hopes and fears. Yeah, I see you like taking something. It's even like an object. It's like, I feel like, okay, I could take the picture here of the object, but I would feel like I could get a much better shot of it over there. So maybe some of you, this comes down to also investment. It's like, well, I have, you know, this amazing microphone, but it's like, I need to have a proper recording. I'm hearing as well studio. Oh, interesting. For some of you, for example, maybe there's something you feel will really help. You know, you even access the assets that you already do have. So, okay, Ten of Wands in reverse sitting on the Justice card upright. I'm almost seeing someone who wants to like take vitamins even, but they need like something to take it with, like, you know, water. I need water, or better water. So again, maybe some of you, again, this could be a metaphor, is something complementary to what it is that you've already created, if it's something you've already created that you feel maybe you need to invest in, or that you feel would be quite helpful. So let's continue here. Ten of Wands in reverse leading out. This is definitely a lot. I'm hearing that you have maybe already created. It's something that, you know, if you put this off, I don't blame you. Maybe it's like a really big move. It's something that really, it takes a lot maybe of time, energy to finally implement whatever this is. So, you know, I see you have been following your intuition with that, as well with the High Priestess in reverse leading out. Especially if it regards matters of creativity. I feel you like wanting to kind of even protect what it is that you've created. And if you are to move something, to move it at the right time. I'm almost even seeing like someone who has like eggs. They're protecting eggs like a nest. It's like they don't want to move the nest. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles in reverse. They're waiting for the proper time. So take it as you will. But it's almost, wow, the Empress fell on the ground there. Again, that card, which came through in matters of partnership. So if, again, that's a focus for you, and we did say that there might be some overlap there, this might be what is affecting even matters of partnerships. It's like, well, I need to move, or this needs to be built out, and that needs to be moved. Maybe it could be your environment. It could be surrounding factors. Nine of Pentacles in reverse, Nine of Wands upright. Some of you maybe have been overwhelmed. For some of you, though, let's clear it. There is something that I'm hearing holiday. I need to go on a holiday. I'm hearing that. Very interesting. This could be an example for some. the creative assets and resources, if you are wanting to propose to someone, that might be something you feel you need to like get ready with. I'm hearing that get situated so that this runs smoothly. So that's maybe an example of how creative assets and resources can affect your matters of partnerships. Again, where we see, well, I know I want to propose to this person. I do feel this way for them, and it can be years down the line, but there are those factors where I need to be clear on how I'm going to do this and what's going to go into it and how I'm going to organize it all out. So the Nine of Pentacles in reverse and the Nine of Wands upright, though, some of you are realizing, you know, I see that I want those eggs to hatch in that kind of environment. There's something maybe that you feel like, but I see you not wanting to like rumble. I'm hearing also, you don't want to rumble the nest about. It's really interesting. And if you actually look at the Two of Pentacles card here, it looks like someone who's carrying eggs. I'm seeing someone carrying a nest. So yeah, in the Page of Pentacles, for a number of you, this is definitely possibly something that you've saved up for, something that you want to present for a number of you to someone, and you want to just do it in the right way. So thank you for tuning in. Love and light to you, Virgo. Enjoy this period. Let me know how you like this series, and we'll get into the next sign here. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Love and light.